Morning, I'm Pravin Shekar, the Creator-in-Chief at Krea, an India-centric panel research firm, and an ESOMAR representative for India. A little bit about myself. In a career spanning a decade and a half in research, I've worked with companies like IMS Health and Nielsen. I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years, but I started my career as a face-to-face researcher. And through my companies, I've been involved in technology for research, knowledge process outsourcing, and analytics, apart from hardcore research. Let me take a moment to ask you some questions. What do you think is the need of the day for researchers? Technology is changing, the globe is shrinking. The need at the moment, if you ask me, is for global research standards, encouraging the new generation researcher to come on, and for market research to have a seat at the decision-making table. This is where ESOMAR steps in. ESOMAR is a global association for research. I have been a member for close to 6 years and a representative for 3 years of that time. ESOMAR as a global organization promotes research. It also promotes research standards by publication of guidelines for a whole host of surveys. You've got guidelines for CATI, telephone interviewing, for surveys, both online, especially with panel quality, guidelines for mobile research, guidelines for mystery shopping. And this is something that they work in conjunction with other associations to ensure that these standards are propagated. How do they do that? They do these through workshops, conferences, local events like what Dr. Nasir is conducting today, and apart from disseminating papers and through magazines. It is extremely important for us as researchers, especially because everything seems to be coming together thanks to technology. It's changing the entire way we do research. As looking at it from one way, as traditional researchers, we cannot shun it away. As new gen researchers, technology alone cannot survive without having traditional research at its base. What is the benefit of ESOMAR and these conferences? And here I'll be talking more from a personal perspective. I have built 2 companies and taken them to multi-million growth through ESOMAR and similar research conferences. What do we get out there? Why do you need to become an ESOMAR member? One, of course, it gives you credibility because you will need to comply with the laid down rules and standards. 2, I gain tremendous knowledge out of these conferences. Now, I go ahead conducting research my own way, but I cannot be an ostrich. An ostrich just digs its head at the first sign of trouble and hopes it passes away. As researchers, we will need to crave for knowledge, and this is where ESOMAR and such conferences provide the knowledge that we require. Knowledge comes through these workshops, through attending these conferences, through the major paper presentations and the keynote speeches that happen. Ultimately, it's as much as I can absorb. And the third is, of course, networking. Some of you might obviously ask me questions on ROI. Why do I become a member? What do I get in return? There are several benefits, but the bottom line is you give more, you get more. So it's pretty much, that's the way how it works. Personally, I have built up extremely good international friendships through these conferences. Obviously, the first conference is just breaking the ice. Second and third that you attend, there's a lot much more. Now, I come up with new research concepts. I need to test it out on fellow researchers. I come up with a new product, a new research technique, and I need to talk to these 3 prospects. And I have my research friends who introduce me. That is the power of networking. To close this, I would like to add that research per se is spreading its wings. It is not the traditional market research as we used to know it. We have management consultings taking up one section of research. We have analytics and KPI companies forming one. So as researchers, it's important for us to be flexible and stretch, to think where we are, where we need to go, to listen. What does the market want? What do our clients want? And ultimately, it comes down to the marketing and sales figures, which market research feeds into. We need to think, we need to listen, but more importantly, we will need to innovate. Bottom line, the need is not just to deliver data, the need is to deliver insights. And that is where such associations, such workshops, and such local events help us come, talk freely, learn from each other, and more importantly, translate these as insights into action. Thank you. Have a good day.